Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Today we are cooking banana and raspberry loaf, something for your sweet tooth. Here's what we need. This will serve 6, but if you want to make it serve more, just cut your slices smaller. Come on in and I'll show you what we need. Okay, so first of all you need your oven on 160. And you need a loaf pan, which you need to grease and line. So once you've done that, you will also need 2 egg whites lightly beaten. I've just whipped those for a little while with the mixer. 2 large ripe bananas peeled and mashed. These are not super ripe, but they're not raw, green I should say, not raw. 3/4 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I will measure that out shortly. 1.5 cups of plain flour. 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. I haven't measured that out yet. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoon of bicarb of soda. And finally 1 1/4 cups of frozen raspberries. Okay, now that we've got everything, this is really easy because it's basically just chuck it in the bowl, mix it all around into your prepared dish, and then into the oven for 1 hour and 15. So good idea to do this and then go and do a load of other stuff and then come back and it'll be good to go. All right, so let's go. Okay, so first of all, we are going to combine the egg whites, the banana, sugar and oil in a bowl. So because it's all going in the same bowl, I'll just grab this one. So my 2 egg whites I've whipped a little bit. There's a little bit of yolk in there, but don't stress too much if you've got a bit of yolk in there. It's all good. Also the banana. So to do your bananas, peel them, and then I like to pop them on a plate and just mash them up with a fork. I normally use them out of the freezer, but I've been using the ones in the freezer for my smoothies because I like them frozen. It makes them a lot colder and it keeps it colder through the day, even though that sounds pretty funny since we're still in winter. Alright, so these are not as ripe as I want them to be, unfortunately. But the main thing is I've got the banana. I normally like to use really ripe bananas because I find you get that better banana flavour. And I know you get the better banana flavour too, so I'm not going to lie. Alright, so that's mixed up. We'll mash it up a little bit more as we go, I think. Alright, they're in. Okay, next step, the sugar is the brown sugar, in she goes. And the oil was the 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Now using oil in cakes is really cool because you get to keep that, it keeps it nice and moist, doesn't dry out. So this means that you don't need to leave this one in the fridge if it's going to last that long. So in goes that. As I said, it does serve 6, so if you are sharing it with people, obviously 6 people, it's gone pretty quickly. Alright, so I'm just going to give that a mix. Because I like to mix everything at each stage. As you can see, we've got a banana-y thing going on. And the banana's mixing up good, so I don't really need to mash it up anymore. Yay. Okay, so set aside our handy pink spatula, pop our sieve on top. Into the sieve is going to go our flour, 1 1/4 cups of plain. 1.5 cups of plain flour. Sift that through. I like this sieve on this bowl because it fits perfectly over the top. All right, next up, baking powder. Now I do have a 1/4 teaspoon. I very rarely use it, but this set of teaspoons that I've got is pretty cool. Baking powder, 1 1/4. Of course it's down the bottom. There's the 1/4. Here comes the 1. We got these many years ago just in case there was extra that I need, because I normally don't use many of the obscure measurements. It's mainly like your 1 tablespoon, your 1/2 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, and a 1/2 teaspoon. So that's a bit of an obscure one there. Baking powder, cinnamon is 1 teaspoon. Cinnamon's good, it gives it that nice flavouring. I like cinnamon. Okay. And then the last thing that's going in there is our bicarb of soda, which is only 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. We'll just sift that through, then we're going to give that another mix. Whatever doesn't go through, just grab your spatula and just push it through. Okay, that's good, it's in. All right, so now we've got obviously a bit of a mixture going on. All right. Now, once we've got everything folded through, and the way you can tell you've folded it through is you won't have any flour patches. And you'll know what I mean by flour patches because your flour's white, so you'll see white areas. Alright. And just when you think you've got it done, give it another couple of stirs, but don't overmix it because you will find extra. Okay, fold in the raspberries. This was 1 1/4 cups of frozen raspberries. I had to go on a world search for those. Well, not really. I've been trying to shop in Aldi and I had to go to Coles, so technically that was my world search. All right, beautiful, look at that. Plenty of raspberries for all. All right, I'm going to bring over my loaf pan. I chose this recipe because A, it's got bananas in it and raspberries, and B, because it's easy to mix. There you go, that's what it looks like. Into here we go. You're not really going to see this because there's too much white going on. All right. Guide it in. It's good that it's nice and thick because that's what we want. I'm looking forward to this for my dessert tonight with a coffee. So here we go. All right, just spread that mixture out. Beautiful. Oven should be on 160. If you can smell it cooking a bit earlier, do not give it the full 1 hour 15. But sometimes you do need to give it longer. You can slice it, when you slice it, serve it with some butter or some jam. Raspberry jam would go nice with it actually. All right, so I'm going to check back in with you when that's done. Okay, so I didn't give it the full hour 15. I took it out after an hour, stabbed it. Obviously, when you put a toothpick in and you've been cooking with bananas, you get the impression that it's not cooked. So I wanted to give it a little bit longer, but not the full hour 15. It's just started to burn here. But overall, that is perfectly done. So I want to thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been banana and raspberry loaf. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you on my next adventure.